Now moving to our next session, I would like to introduce our next speaker. And our next session is how 5G is creating opportunities for sustainable and futuristic society. And I would like to invite Mr. Indrajit Sanyal, and let me quickly introduce him to all of you. Mr. Sanyal is Ericsson India Global Services Location Head in Kolkata, Head of Service Delivery Unit, Cloud and NFV Infrastructure Business Unit, Digital Services Ericsson. Indrajit is responsible for the global service delivery of cloud and network function virtualization infrastructure in Business Unit Digital Services in Ericsson. Indrajit and his team of experts support Ericsson customers to transform their network and implement the virtualization and 5G journey. Indrajit graduated from IIT Kharagpur in 1992. He joined Ericsson in 2011. But before that, he had successful career in Tech Mahindra, Ushacom, and Acer. He brings 25 plus years of diverse experience in ICT industries. Indrajit is location head site manager for Ericsson Global Services in Kolkata. He is a member of the IT committee of Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry and participates as a speaker in different key industry events in India. Indrajit, welcome to INDICON 2021 Industry Forum, and over to you.
Hello, Sudeshna, and thanks to the organizers and everybody attending this call remotely. I hope you all hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you.
You will occasionally hear a train honking behind my background because there's a working from home challenges. This is the agenda. Now, what we see, 5G is actually happening all around us. Currently, through Ericsson only, we have more than 100 customers already live with 5G all over the world. And there are another 60 or more currently work in progress where 5G is being deployed. Now, why such a big craze or such a big interest on 5G? We'll take a look and then we'll see that what opportunity 5G brings for a better future. If we look the right-hand part of the slide, that 5G, though we...
Sir, sorry to disturb you. We can't see your slide.
You can't... let me...
It was showing up, but right now it is not.
I don't know who are on the IT side, because I believe I'm sharing. Let me stop sharing and reshare again.
Yes. Ruchika, are you able to view it?
No, ma'am, it is not visible.
Okay. It was coming, but it just went off. If you can
now
share.
Started sharing.
Yes, it is now coming back again. Yes, it's now sharing. Yes.
Good.
It's showing up.
Perfect. So we see that there are more than 100 customers already live, and the major interest for 5G, we see that it's quite diverse. If you look on the right-hand side, that on one side, it's enabling lots of devices, the IoT type of services, because it can really cover up a large number of subscriber or devices. On the other side, it gives very high throughput. There is another dimension that there is a very low latency type of feature. So we can actually handle several type of business cases by managing 5G properly. And that's probably the interest, and that's the potential it brings. So what we'll do, we'll take a quick look at 5G and then we'll explore it further.
2G, 3G, 4G. They've all revolutionized the way we live our lives. And Ericsson has been leading the way. So when it comes to 5G, it's easy to think it's just another G. Well, it's not. With 5G, things will be faster, and we mean a lot faster. With global mobile data traffic doubling every 18 months, the world's demand for high-speed connectivity increases every second. And that's where 5G comes in, by efficiently providing the capacity for massive data growth. So what does this mean for you? It means high-speed connections for everyone always. Fast and uninterrupted sharing, streaming, and browsing, so that you'll never have to fight for data, no matter the competition. But it's not only about speed. 5G will reduce latency to a minimum, making delays virtually impossible to proceed. It means elevating reality even further. It means fiber speeds without fiber at home, for everyone everywhere. And with network slicing technology, every connected service can get its own unique part of a 5G network, fully dedicated and guaranteed for each specific purpose. It means the Internet of Things on an industrial scale, making society more sustainable, increasing resource efficiency, connecting vehicles to get there both faster and safer. It means protecting the most vulnerable road users, detecting accidents before they happen, and helping save lives with dedicated networks for critical services. With Ericsson's leading 5G technology paving the way, the full potential of connectivity is becoming reality. Join us. Let's explore 5G.
Should we explore further? In next 20 minutes or so, we pick up few examples and see how 5G is making a difference. Now, just for a second, imagine our life today. I mean, today we are having this session. I'm joining from phone and my laptop. Probably we can't even think our world without this digitization or connectivity. Now, let's look at American Samoa. I don't know whether you know about this colony or not. I heard its name. I wasn't aware of its location. So I did a Google search, and this is what Google Maps showed me. The red dot is this place called American Samoa, and you can see that it's kind of out of nowhere. It's almost like a hugely far away from all the continents. Now, if we zoom into this red dot, then we see American Samoa is actually a cluster of islands. And this little island on the right is called Manua, and which is almost like 135 kilometers away. So, and the only connectivity they had was the underground fiber optic cable and the satellite communication bridging the connectivity. On 4th of July weekend this year, the underground cable between Manua and the main island got snapped or took a problem. And then this island got totally disconnected from rest of the world. Just imagine a life being on a small island during COVID time without telecommunication services to you. And then 5G transport came up as a solution. Ericsson, with certain technologies, using this 6 gigahertz bandwidth, is established a very long range microwave connectivity. And that connected that little part of the American Samoa back to the life. And still now it's operating with around 1 Gbps backhaul in a steady way. So I think this is one good example that where this technology is helping us to connecting this world. And this is one example. I'm sure as 5G gets more and more rolled out in India and in different countries, this every nook and corners where we have a little bit of connectivity, and because there are less connectivity, they are unable to leverage the other facilities or applications of life that will be hugely facilitated, and we'll move on to a different type of society. example. Now, from connectivity, let's look into education sector. Now, one fact is that there is a huge amount of educational divide. I mean, we all lucky people who are working in good companies, sitting in big metros, our kids going into the good school may not realize, but as we go on to the remote places, remote villages, we see probably there is a huge disparity. And there is a disparity between the amount of school is having internet connection. This graph is from World Economic Forum. The higher the shade is, the better percentage of schools are having good internet connections. And you will see Australia's, America's, part of Europe's are pretty bright colored. And whereas India, major part of it, China, and even a part of Africa, Latin America, are very poorly covered by school connecting to the to internet. And what we feel that being connected to internet gives actually opens a door of people picking up skill, picking up knowledge, and kind of going ahead in their life. Now, Ericsson and UNICEF and a lot of people has collaborated, and they are now taken a. You can go to UNICEF site and see this project Connect. They are going country by country and creating a map that how much school has connectivity, where are the percentage. And though it's a very little progress, you will see that only 1 million out of 6 million schools are currently mapped. But 42 countries has already volunteered. So this work will get progressed, and so there is a lot of focus how to bridge this gap of disparity. Now, question is, why 5G coming in out here? If we look into the right-hand side graphs, the top one shows how the connectivity will change. And this faint line in between, which is 2021. And if we see that from here to 2030, this orange piece is 5G. The majority of connection will be provided by 5G. So as the schools and other will look for connection, look for data, then 5G will be the technology that will actually narrow down the educational divide. Similarly, this graph, the middle one, shows the data volume handled. And again, the orange one is 5G. That since 2021, as we move ahead, 5G will create enormous data volume, and which the schools and other the units will be able to leverage. Now, it's not only the connectivity. I think what main is, it creates a lot of opportunity for bringing innovative services. Let's take an example.
Immersive education is a strong use case for 5G, particularly in the context of current lockdowns and homeschooling. Inception XR is doing what we call edutainment. They're combining elements of education and entertainment. It is reading and calculus, and on the other hand, immersive augmented reality content.
Our collaboration with Ericsson started as we both had a shared vision to try and see how can we create the best consumer use cases for 5G. So what we have done, we have developed a network adaptive engines that actually delivers different content depending on the type of environment you're in. What this means, if you take an example of one of our under the water scenes, if you're on 5G, you're seeing more fish, more coral, and this actually creates a much, much richer experience.
The network adaptive applications that Inception XR is building are the perfect fit for service providers who want to target 4G and 5G users with a single application and at the same time be able to differentiate the experience over 5G.
So this is one example, and using this technology, probably we can see an engineer, we can show an engineering student that how to open a gearbox and how to repair a gearbox, or we can show a medical student, maybe some internals of certain organs. So it's 5G has a lot of potential of changing this educational sector. Not only giving rich content as well as bridging this education divide. Now let's look into the business part of it, that how 5G will kind of bring new opportunities for businesses. Now, before going that, we see some form of enablers, because when we look into today's market, there are enormous amount of success stories. Every business domain is kind of doing POCs with 5G and trying innovative use cases. But there are certain set of commonalities. One set of commonalities is, yes, it's related to IoT. As we showed in previous slide, that yes, 5G covers large number of devices in a very smart way. So there are IoT platforms coming up, and on which is very easy scale up, easy to kind of manage security, bringing in security and other aspects. So it's addressing IoT. The other type of enablement coming from 5G in form of dedicated networks like ports, hospitals, mines, big industries. They are building a dedicated wireless network. Previously, people used to put LANs. Now, this whole thing is now moving into a dedicated 5G network or a private 5G network, which they are managing. The third enablement is a mission critical communication, like firefighters talking, or a industrial automation communication between robotic arms or very high response time machines. Those are being enabled by 5G. And then the wireless WAN. I mean, WAN is existing technology for several decades, and now that being wireless using 5G. The advantage coming to the business that they have no flexibility to put their business logics anywhere in the network. They can put it into the code, they can put it right up to the edge, or depending on use cases, they can move the actual processing of the data flexibly, and that's giving flexibility. So now we look into several examples, and obviously you don't have time to go get into in details of that, but you can go to Ericsson's site, 5G for business, and probably look into these examples. Each of them are extremely interesting and innovative. So for example, if we take this Australia example from Australia using Texas and Lexus, the it's a vehicle to anything communication, and what they're leveraging the quick response time of 4G and 5G. They are it's making a connected vehicle scenario. So using the vehicle's location and the network, they're trying to see a collision. Now, in case of Australia, this was a prototype, encouraged by province of Victoria, where they had a focus that we would have zero street accident, because in those cases it's a kind of an empty road. Suddenly there are cyclists and other people, and sometimes they get accident. And what they're doing, this Telstra operator is out there, almost like a 99% network is covered by Telstra. So they are now taking this location and with a very quick response time, trying to analyze a collision, depend if the position of the car is near a cross section or something. And with 5G coming in, this prototype was done on 4G. With 5G coming in, they see a big potential to roll it as a standard service. If we look into the Audi or ABB type of cases where within a shop floor, use of robots was very standard nowadays. And if you see any industrial picture, millions of wires moves along with that, because that was a kind of a constraint of a very seamless mobility. Now with 5G and ultra low latency communication coming in, that's kind of it's becoming wireless. So there are AGVs now moving without wire, and they are becoming so smart. So it's kind of implementing the cyber physical system so that they can interact with human, and together the robot and human provide a much better type of services. Similarly, within the network, we see there is a lot of time sensitive network is already implemented, and which is 5G is interworking with them. There are many such examples. Like in the mines, Boliden from Bolivia, it's a copper mines. And what happened in mines, there is a huge amount of blasting happens, rock removes, heavy machineries goes, and it's a remote control devices. So people, instead of actually sitting in mine and moving the digger. They are at a control center and moving the digger controls, and the digger is actually working out there. As a result, what's happening that after a blast, when there was a mandatory wait, because for blast there is all those poisonous gases has to go out, and then only human can move the digger out there. Now remotely, the human is operating and the digger is going. As a result, they are achieved almost like a 10% fuel efficiency in their whole operation, and which is reducing carbon emission. So there are many such examples in the industries, and we believe that 5G will bring a better tomorrow. Let's take a quick look at the healthcare sector. This is again another real life example that happened in UK, where NHS, Hospital of Birmingham, and King's College, Ericsson, BT, everybody teamed up into a collaboration. And something interesting happened in this prototype technically from a communication technology wise. Often we call, say, video call, right? Where our voice and video goes together. Out there, they are created an Ericsson innovation called IMS data channel, and which also are running in parallel and can carry a lot of machine data. And as a result, what's happening that doctor from remote is able to visualize the patient in the hospital. And previously, what only paramedics can use to take action, now a doctor can take action. And it has become so innovative that there are haptic gloves, and the paramedics is actually wearing the haptic gloves, and doctor remotely is moving the ultrasound, because ultrasound is one such test which needs a doctor to do, because looking at the image, doctor has to change the angle and put the devices somewhere places. So the remote ultrasound is being done by the doctor on the ambulance, so that before the patient arrives there, doctor has a lot of information on the patient condition. So there are many such examples. Now we move into another very interesting example. One of my favorite is on the entertainment, and this is from US. AT&T, Ericsson, together they did it. Now, when COVID came, the whole entertainment industry got very hit, because there was no concert, no show, everything, and only way of connecting to fans was through digital method, to virtual way. So what was achieved, and this has a lot of potential that it probably can bring revolution the way we understand music or follow this. They created a augmented reality environment. So the singer presented in Ericsson studio, or AT&T Ericsson, the studio, the live performance there, and it was recorded, and it was getting broadcasted to 10 people. And so far, this is normal. But these 10 people, they were seeing it in their handheld in a virtual environment. So, and you will see that in that handle, they are seeing their own environment as a AR set. And through augmented reality, the avatar of the singer, as well as their own avatars, are out there. So they can see actually in that handled as if like the singer is performing in their own drawing room, and they are singing and dancing together. And the beauty is 10 different people, each having their own private environment. Because if I had the device, I would see my own ambience, and then the characters getting superimposed there on terms of augmented reality. So it's a very different way of interacting with live music. So there can be many such examples. So, and we don't have time. So I will end with, we cover education, we cover healthcare, we cover different industry, and why to leave sports. So let's take a look at sports, and there I will wrap up my session.
Limitless connectivity is revolutionizing sport, media, and entertainment, bringing the fan closer to the heart of sport. It's an absolute game changer. Where 5G gets really, really interesting is when we combine it with some of the other technologies that it enables. The processing power that needs is getting too much for these devices. So what we can do is take all of that heavy lifting, all of the rendering of these graphics, spatial audio, all of these things are done in the network at the edge to be able to create these experiences so people are holding up their phone, they're wearing wearable glasses. Essentially, every seat is the best seat in the house. Really is absolutely limitless. When you combine enhanced connectivity together with other technological advancement, you've got information for coaches, physiotherapists. All of these things are going to be able to build up a great new experience for the sport in general. None of these great new experiences that we're talking about are going to happen without our partners. We need a 5G network, so we work with Ericsson on how we roll that out. We're looking at the Internet of Senses. Imagine being in your house, but you're able to feel the roar of the crowd, and you can experience sport in a way you never thought was possible. We're going to see whole new revenue streams opening up as we start to explore this technology. We're going to see advancements in marketing, advertising, sponsorship, and that's really going to change the shape of some of these revenue models. And we're also going to see the fan engage with sport in a way they never thought was possible.
So I will echo what the person was speaking, that yes, it will bring up quite a lot of new revenue model, new revenue model. I mean, starting from advertisement, starting from the way we deliver services, new type of content. And I think we are only limited by our own imagination. If some interesting thing can be imagined, then certainly this can be delivered. So to sum it up, that yes, the 5G is a very different kind of G. It brings in huge extra capacity. It also covers very low throughput, lots of devices. It brings in very fast response time. And using network slices, we can tune up the network depending on the use cases we need. And it's transforming industry and bringing quite a lot of enhanced experience. And so the services that seem like futuristic, many of the examples we have seen are currently happening now. And as creative people will think of new things, and I'm sure in the days to come, we'll see much more impactful services from 5G. That's all. And if you have any question, I will be happy to take that.
And thank you, sir. And I can only have a one-line summary of these wonderful stories of innovative automation, which has helped in complete redefinition of workplace and connectivity. So those were excellent stories. And again, to the audience, if you have any questions for Mr. Sanyal, please post it in the Q&A chat box and we will pass it on to our speaker and he can reply to you.